Gururvishnu Gurudevo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Namaste all. Welcome to the 6th episode of the Bhagavad Gita podcast. In the previous episode, me and my dad, we discussed some questions I had about the Sankhya Yoga. So if you're interested in that, check out the links in the description below. But in this episode, I want to continue where we left off previously, right? You mentioned earlier that we have to focus on one thing at a time. And a problem I noticed with many of my classmates and students is that they're really distracted, either by their phones or social media or like gadgets, whatever it may be. And so I'm curious to know, did Lord Krishna give a solution to this problem?
Okay. So again, in the last episode, we talked about Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, right? Meaning having that resoluteness, right? And having that determination in the mind so that you can focus on, concentrate on doing the work. To your point, of course, primarily a lot of kids these days, they get distracted and they are not able to focus, and that's one of the biggest challenges they face, right? Of course, even adults to some extent. Yes, Lord Krishna actually gave a warning in a way that this is going to happen, and also a solution in Bhagavad Gita, primarily in the Sankhya Yoga. So if you look at the distraction, primarily a distraction will be caused by somebody who is distracting you, like a friend maybe, right? Asking you to, hey, like watch a particular show, or like, maybe showing maybe like the newest gadget out in the market, like iPhone 16, for example, right? So it's going to be people or things.
Okay.
Either people or things, right? And the sloka where Lord Krishna says, Yamimam
Pushpitam
Vacham, right? So if you heard this word, flowery language, what does that word mean?
Yeah, so flowery language is like trying to like deceive someone. Like it's sort of like when your like friend says something it's good when it's like not actually good. It's like when you sugarcoat the truth.
Okay, right? It's primarily to influence somebody.
Yeah.
And again, it's an English word, but it's actually coming from Sanskrit in a way, and Lord Krishna actually used the word, right? Pushpitam Vacham. That's nothing but the flowery language, right? So, and he's saying that Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadanti Avipaschitaha. Pravadanti means is said by the people, right? Anybody. Could be anybody. And he's also explaining these people are Avipaschitaha, means like they don't have complete knowledge. Right? They have like half knowledge about anything, right? And these are the people who are going to influence you, right? And that is one of the major causes of distraction. But when they try to influence you, they also say that this is the best thing out there. This is the only thing that you have to try, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, in the second line of the sloka, he says, Na anyat asti iti vadinaha. So he's saying that these people will say that there is nothing else better than this. You have to watch this show. You have to try this gadget.
Right. Yeah.
So that is the kind of the distraction. It can be caused by people, especially if you are a student. Again, like a good friend can help you get better, and similarly, like a friend who may be trying to, like, who is not in the best path, right? They can mislead you. So that is one of the warnings. The second warning that Lord Krishna gives is the sloka where Bhogaishwarya Prasaktanam
Taya Apahruta Chetasam.
Right? So Taya Apahruta Chetasam. So he's saying that Apahruta Chetasam is like your mind is pretty much stolen, like carried away. By what? Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam. Again, Bhoga Aishwarya means like the things, and of course, for kids, Bhoga Aishwarya is nothing but the gadgets, right?
Yeah.
Right, and something like you want to really, the social media, for example, people, a lot of kids are in the social media. So He's saying that this will again cause a problem, because the bhogaisvara taya apahruta chetasa means like your mind actually is carried away. If you are always thinking about these gadgets and things like social media,
Right.
then in the second line he says vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. So if you are getting carried away by people, or if you are getting carried away by things, right, pretty much like your mind is stolen by that, then he is saying that you cannot concentrate. So these are two warnings. Again, Lord Krishna didn't actually stop giving warnings. Of course, his guru.
Yeah.
We expect him to give solution as well. And he gave a very beautiful example. One of the beautiful examples you can see in Bhagavad Gita is he gives a reference of how a turtle will withdraw its body parts.
Yeah.
Right? He says this yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvasaha. So what he is saying is turtle, right? A turtle having a shell, and let's say it's walking on the road, right? And when it encounters a problem, like maybe a fox or something which is trying to kill this turtle, right? So what does the turtle do?
It hides in its shell.
It will withdraw. Yada samharate cha ayam. He's saying it is going to withdraw its limbs and its head, right? So it is not actually losing them, but it's actually withdrawing them. Right. So he says that, okay, he gave this example, and he said, when you encounter probably maybe somebody who is actually trying to mislead you, trying to influence you, or the things which are actually going to distract you, he says that focus on the things and withdraw yourself. So you are still the same person, but you are withdrawing, in a way, you are withdrawing the mind from the things which are actually asking you to focus on them.
Yeah. Okay.
When you do that, you will retain, you will get back your concentration, and you will be able to focus.
I want to touch upon the topic of Sthita Prajna.
Okay.
Right. I think you previously mentioned that it's in this Sankhya Yoga. Also, Arjuna asks about this question. He says, Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha. So he asks Krishna about this question, and I just want to know what it exactly means.
Okay. So Sthita Prajna is, again, it's a very, very important concept, and also I think I mentioned this to you. Like a person who is actually following through Sankhya Yoga can become a saint. And Sthita Prajna is nobody but a saint. Swami Vivekananda, for example, he used to quote Sankhya Yoga and some of the slokas from talking about the Sthita Prajna's qualities, the lakshanas of Sthita Prajna.
Okay.
And Mahatma Gandhi, he used to read all these 18 slokas. There are 18 slokas on Sthita Prajna.
Okay.
Qualities, lakshanas of Sthita Prajna. And on a daily routine, in his morning prayer, Mahatma Gandhi used to follow this. Like, read them, right? And also he followed them to a great extent. So these, again, these 18 slokas are actually giving the lakshanas or the qualities exhibited by the saints. Sankhya Yoga gives you tools in a way that you can how to become a good citizen, how to be a good, like a student, or whatever you do, right? In whichever ways you want to improve. How can you be that person? Also, how can you be a great saint?
Right.
So it's actually giving the whole suite of the tool set in a way. It comes from, Jna, right? Jna, Prajna, Sthita Prajna. There are pretty much three levels, right? Jna talks about, it's almost like an awareness, right?
Okay.
This awareness, or like knowledge. Normally talk about knowledge or awareness, and this will be there in every being, every creature out there. Even if it is a small ant, crawling on the floor, it will have this awareness, right? To some extent. To give an example, let's say that there's a small ant crawling on the floor, and there is a fire out there. So do you think this ant actually just crawl into the fire?
No.
Right? So the moment it starts feeling the heat,
it's going to back away.
It's going to back away, right?
Yeah.
So that is the awareness, that is the jna, right? So that actually is there in every being, every creature, right? But prajna is a superior jna, superior knowledge, what we call as an intellect, for example.
Okay.
Right? So, which we have, right? Humans have this intellect, the superior intellect, right? Again, going back to the same example, let's say that there is a smoke, right, in the area, and maybe a person actually either driving or walking in that region, they will identify that, okay, if there is a smoke, probably there is going to be a fire, right? Like, I mean, he is able to imagine that, he is able to think about it. The intellect actually is working better, right? Whereas the same ant, I don't think it can actually able to make out when there is a smoke that there is a fire. That's what I'm saying. So that is the prakrushta jna. It's a prajna means, is prakrushta means like, superior. It is the best of the jna, right? So we all have this prajna. The problem is that this prajna, we won't have it for all the time. Right? Our prajna will be there and it will come and go. So Sthita Prajna for a saint, the prajna will be steady. It's almost like a steady intellect. Meaning they always will be aware, right? Aware at the highest level with their awareness, right? And also having this the steady intellect. That is the definition of Sthita Prajna. As I said, it's a quality exhibited by great saints. All the Mahatmas and all the Gurus, they are all exhibiting the quality of Sthita Prajna. And he gives a definition of Sthita Prajna also. In one of the sloka, he says, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnasya Tadochyate. So what he is saying, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha means satisfied. And this person, the Sthita Prajna, Atmani Eva means like, he is happy within himself. So happy, so satisfied. So if you are happy and satisfied, you don't need anything, right? Right? Because if you need something in your mind, like you are always thinking about it, you are not satisfied.
Right.
It's almost like a pot which is full, right? The pot which is full, you can't put anything more in that because which is already full. So the Sthita Prajnas will be like that. So they are always happy. They are always satisfied and they don't need anything. And that is the highest level of maturity and the highest level of steady intellect that they exhibit, right? So that is the Sthita Prajna. Again, these 18 slokas actually goes into a lot of details about the qualities, and even reading through them, going through them on a day-to-day basis will really help us if you understand the meanings.
Yeah. Also, you just defined Sthita Prajna. How does this apply to us? How does this concept apply to us?
Yeah, again, as I said, like if you really observe it to a greater extent, like meaning and living by those principles, like you can be a saint, but at least on a bare minimum level, right? There are certain things that we can observe. For example, I talked about the example of the turtle.
Right. Yeah.
That's actually one of the qualities exhibited by a Sthita Prajna. Right? I said, of course, we can apply that to an extent possible, because again, if you are getting distracted, like you can withdraw yourself from the situation. I think we can primarily talk about two important qualities that we all need to improve upon, right? One, I would say, is the control. The second one, I would say, the balance. The control is, again, there is one sloka which talks about Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Okay, what is that sloka?
Yeah. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha sukeshu vigataspuraha Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Sthitathir Muniruchyate.
Right. So what he is saying is Dukkeshu Anudvignamanaha Sukeshu Vigata Spraha. So what actually happens is, again, we talked about these dvandvas. I mean, the two dual conflicting nature of sukha, dukkha, right? I mean, happiness or sadness, right? So this this steady people having the steady intellect, they won't be really moved too much, right?
Right.
Like, okay, so if there is, they will just acknowledge and move.
Yeah.
So no agitation, not too much of excitement, right? And in the second line he says, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Vita means free of, liberated from. Raga means it's like attachment, right? You own something and you have an attachment, right? You have an attachment with the people in the family, right? With the things that you own. Raga, Bhaya is the fear. Krodha is the anger.
Okay.
So he's saying that these people with the steady intellect, they are free of Vita Raga, Vita Bhaya, Vita Krodha. Meaning they are free of these attachment, they are free of the fear and also anger.
Okay.
And those are called as the people like steady intellect. And this is what we can start practicing. And also when we talk about Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, it's not that you are leaving it, you are leaving them, it's actually they leaving you. The Raga, Bhaya, Krodha leaving you. So I'll just give an illustration to explain it little more. So let's say that one person is going in the forest, right? Like trekking in the forest, and this person comes across a tiger.
Okay.
And again, tiger cannot, like a cheetah, it cannot climb onto the top of the trees, right? And let's say this person actually gets onto the top of the tree, right? And the tiger, what does the tiger typically do?
Like wait around the tree.
It's wait, right? It will wait around the tree, right? So this person has actually left the tiger, but the tiger has not left the person. So in the first level of leaving, getting rid of this anger, these things, you are trying to leave them, but they are still lurching around, right? Because like that tiger. But let's say what will happen if this person is still put up there, is not coming down for a long time. Let's say it's from morning to maybe into the evening, right? So finally, the tiger will give up.
Yeah.
There is one time when the tiger will give up and go away. On a day-to-day basis, wherever you are, depending on what you are trying to do, you can still try to control these things, right?
Right.
No excessive attachment or like controlling your anger and fear, because they both are not good.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we can start practicing. The second thing I would say is the balance. Right? You need balance in whatever we do. And there is one sloka where he talks about this anabhisneha, right? What is the sloka?
Yes sarvatranabhisneha tattaprapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. So
na abhinandati na dveshti. Right? So again, they won't be too attached, similar to the earlier sloka, right?
Yeah.
So na abhinandati is like they won't be too much like excited, and they don't have anybody who they really dislike. Not dveshti, they won't dislike anybody. So those are the qualities of a Sthita Prajna, like gurus exhibit that, right? So they see everyone as equal, they love all the people equally, they don't dislike the person, they just forgive the person, right? So these are the things that we can start practicing in a day-to-day life. Again, the highest level will make you a saint, but at least the beginning level can make us as a better citizen.
Yeah. I think you mentioned in a previous episode, right, about how anger management was mentioned in this chapter, the Sankhya Yoga. Could you please elaborate more on that?
Sure. So there are actually two slokas where Lord Krishna talks about the anger management and how can it actually destroy one individual, right? So what are the slokas starting with Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha? Two slokas, yeah.
Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodhobhijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha Smriti Bhramshat Buddhinasaha Buddhinasat Pranashyati.
Right, so this is almost like a 7 steps, right? 7 steps, but not going up, but these are 7 steps. almost like going down this bore well to the point of person destroying himself. Right? It starts with, he's saying, dhyayato vishayan punsaha. Punsaha is like a person. Vishayam is the things or the anything, right? Like objects or anything that you can think of. And dhyayato is you are thinking about it. A simple thing that you think about or contemplating about it.
Okay.
Just to give an example, let's say that you are going to the school and you come across a sports car, like a very shiny sports car, the latest model, so attractive, right? And this sports car, like you really liked it so much because that's the first time you saw that. Then, so what will actually happen? Vishayan punsaha sangasteshu upajayate. Then he's saying that once you contemplate, once you think, the second thing that happens is sangam. Sangam is the attachment. Right? Because you are thinking about it and you have an attachment.
Right.
Going back to the same sports car, like you went to the school, you were thinking about the same thing in the school. Right? You came back. So the sports car left on the road the moment you saw it, but it is still in your mind. You are carrying it. You see what I'm saying? You carried it, right? So then, sangat sanjayate kamaha. Kamaha means like a desire. So that attachment will lead to the third step down, which is a desire. You want to have this sports car, right? So in this example, sports car. So when you want to have something, there are going to be two outcomes. Either you can have it or you cannot have it, right? So let's say in this example, of course, you cannot have the sports car, you cannot buy it because you don't even have a license, right? You can't drive it. So then what will happen? Sangha sanjayate kamaha, kamat krodho vijayate. Krodha is the anger. So now you have a desire to have it, but you cannot have it, right? That will lead you to the anger, right? Because you are feeling angry, but because I wanted to have it, right? So let's say again, like it's another thing like an iPhone 16 that you wanted to have it, and we bought it, and you have it with you, and those things. Let us say if you lose it, you will get angry, right? So if you have it, again you want to protect it. If somebody touches you, you are getting angry, right? If you don't have it, again you will obviously getting angry, right? But when you get angry, krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha is almost like a delusion, like it's an obsession. As we said, like this sports car, you cannot have it and you are getting obsessed with it. Right? Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Smriti vibhramaha is like your mind is completely out of place. Vibhramaha is like displaced. Meaning you are not able to focus on the things that you have to focus, right? On your homework, on studies, or on the sports that you have to do, right? Smriti bhramsha
buddhinasaha.
Buddhinasaha. Buddhi is the controller of the mind. It's like the pilot of that aeroplane, right? So what will happen if the pilot is not actually taking care of the aeroplane? It's like the aeroplane is going to get doomed, right? So buddhinasha pranasyati is the final destruction. You are ruining yourself. So in this slokas, he clearly is articulating like where it starts, and step by step, like how can it ruin one individual, right? Just because you are thinking about it, the contemplation and leading to the attachment, leading to your desire to have it, and leading to the anger, leading to the obsession, leading to the out of mind losing control on the mind, and finally you are getting ruined, right? So that is the almost like a 7-step approach down, 7-step down, right? And how can you control is, first of all, you should acknowledge, you should again the moment you know that you are going down the path,
stop
like you have to stop, right? So for example, let's say in the same sports car example, right? So once you are thinking more about it and there is a desire and you know that you cannot have it, you cannot have it now for the reasons which are obvious, right? So then you have to take care of, remember we said the buddhi is your pilot, right? The buddhi is the determination. It can actually help you saying that, hey, you know what, I cannot have it now. This is not the right time, right
now.
situation
Yeah.
for that, right?
Mhm.
And that is where you should not let it down this step by step process, right? And that's how you can really control your anger. You may not be able to remove the anger completely, but at least you want to control, manage, right?
Yeah.
Anger management we talk about, right? So you want to really control to the extent possible.
Yeah. Also, in this Sankhya Yoga, in the second chapter, Krishna gives like almost a continuous bodha.
Yeah.
He gives a lot of advice to Arjuna. Yet in the beginning of the Karma Yoga, Arjuna still has a doubt. He still has confusion. Right? So I want to know, why does he have this confusion? And what exactly is this confusion about?